Female screams echoed like thunder splitting the sky. Look quickly. It's the fifth elder. It really is the fifth elder. Among the 9 elders of our sword sect, only the fifth elder is so young. He's truly elegant, gentle as jade, with an extraordinary aura, refined and polite, a true talent. Fifth elder, where are you heading? Tabak just smirked and casually said 3 words, recruiting disciples. At this moment, he secretly thought those people were just shallow, not realizing that besides his good looks, he was also a super badass. Looking at the system screen, Tabak felt extremely satisfied. This was the first time the system recommended a red fate child to him. The stats of his soon-to-be female disciple appeared on the screen. A beautiful girl with an extraordinary, innate talent. Tabak excitedly rode the wind and clouds to her location. But this future female disciple was currently in a miserable state, lying painfully on the ground, her heart numb. In just one night, the young girl lost all her family. Now she herself was being bullied by villains. With no other choice, she closed her eyes tightly, preparing to accept her cruel fate. But at that moment, the thug suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, muttered something shameless, then collapsed and died on the spot. Young lady, I saw your parents. I am the elder of the sword sect, the fifth elder, Tabak. Are you willing to take me as your master, join the immortal sect, and pursue the path of immortality? Tu Nuoktin looked at the handsome man before her, momentarily unsure of what to do. Seeing her not answering, Tabak continued, if you're unwilling, we'll consider it a missed fate. He tried to use a bit of psychological manipulation. With such top-tier talent, a good disciple like this couldn't be easily passed up. Unexpectedly, she agreed readily. Master. Disciple Tu Nuoktin pays respects to Master. Tabak nodded with satisfaction. Though not as imagined, she still showed great respect for her teacher. At this moment, the system suddenly announced, congratulations to the host for successfully recruiting a disciple, receiving 10 omnipotent draws. This was the treatment a protagonist should have. Draw for me. But right after that, he was slapped in the face. Congratulations, host has received ordinary yuan replenishing pills, ordinary hemostatic medicine, ordinary poison, will die if consumed. Tabak resentfully looked at Tu Nuoktin. Fate child, hurry up and appear for me. Perhaps the system heard Tabak's complaints. The subsequent draws continuously displayed notifications. Congratulations, host has received the legendary tier title reward, Child of Destiny. Congratulations host, luck value has reached its limit. His ugly face almost flew to the sky, then happily led Tu Nuoktin back to the sect, while promising her, after you've mastered your skills, Master will personally help you avenge today. Tu Nuoktin naturally agreed happily. On the way, he wanted to show off in front of his disciple. So he said, Disciple, now that you've joined the immortal sect, Master has a few words to say. Remember well, in this world, there aren't many heroes who can appear to help you. But Tu Nuoktin pointed at a woman who had just been rescued in the distance. Slapped in the face again, Tabak quickly changed the subject. Cultivation must be step by step. Don't think about reaching the sky in one leap. But just then, a burst of maniacal laughter rang out. Haha, finally I, Hohan Tam, have obtained the 18 dragons subduing palms. Master, what are the dragons have been slapped in the face for the 3rd time? Tabak quickly changed the subject. Anyway, the most important thing is to live for me and cultivate diligently. Tu Nuoktin finally said, Disciple understands. Thank you, Master, for saving my life. I will definitely cultivate diligently from now on. Just as he was boasting to his disciple, Tabak saw a female disciple hurriedly running over to relay a message, saying the Grand Elder had summoned him for a meeting. Tabak turned back to Tu Nuoktin, good disciple. Take Master's sword back to the sword pavilion first. I'll return after the meeting. Alright, I think there's a chi cultivation manual under the table. Remember to take a look. Remember, don't touch the vase on the table. Finally, having recruited a good disciple, Tabak was very pleased. But he didn't know that this girl was his greatest enemy in this life. She was Tabak himself. After speaking, Tabak slowly walked towards the main peak. Soon he arrived at the main peak. As usual, wherever Tabak went, the female disciples of the sect swooned. Having just recruited a top-tier disciple, Tabak eagerly opened his own attribute panel to check. But he was disappointed to find not even a hair had changed. The system consoled him, saying he needed to raise his disciples' cultivation level for himself to level up. Tabak sighed deeply. For him, this system had given people a very unreliable feeling from the beginning. So, ignoring the praises of his handsomeness from the female disciples surrounding him, Tabak's mind wandered to a different memory. He recalled the events from a month ago.
Initially, he was a couch potato curled up in a blanket reading novels, forgetting to go to his exam. He decided to read 30 more chapters before going, but unexpectedly his bladder was too full, leading to a regulatory dysfunction, causing him to transmigrate.
Isn't this absurd for a modern person? He immediately got angry with the system. Are you bullying me for never having read novels? Who would transmigrate because of this? Perhaps intimidated by the protagonist's fierceness, the system quickly offered benefits. After the host recruits disciples as guided by the system, you can draw rewards. When disciples level up, up, rewards will be directly doubled. Moreover, the host transmigrated identity is an elder of the sword sect, not only with heaven-defying strength but also unparalleled beauty. Compared to other transmigration novels, the initially clueless protagonist was indeed very domineering. But after stepping into society, he realized he had nothing but good looks. Just as Tabak was about to pick his nose, a sense of danger struck. Little Back, you're finally back. I heard from the disciples that you brought back a very beautiful woman. Is that right? Dro elder van Han bin Tom Rustover, hugging Tabak tightly. Little Back, you're finally back. I missed you to death. Faced with this sudden attack, Tabak just wanted to scream, help, help, help. This is against the rules. Second Elder Taitan, why spoke up. I request the Grand Elder to mind his image a bit. You old fogey. I changed Little Back's diapers when he was small. There's no part of him I haven't seen. Taitan, why couldn't hold back anymore. Look at yourselves. Do you look like anything proper? The dignified Grand Elder of the Sword Sect rubbing his face against the Fifth Elder. And the Fifth Elder admits to being infatuated with female disciples. His cultivation still only at mid-stage Hoadan. And you too, Sixth Junior Brother, as the Sixth Elder of the Sword Sect, but you're an alcoholic. Aren't you all ashamed? Hearing this, the Sixth Elder became even more excited. Fifth Senior Brother, you should try harder. Look at me. I'm already at early stage fan who. Before he could finish, he was kicked down by the Second Elder. Are you very proud? We are a top-tier sect. How can there be elders of a top-tier sect with such poor cultivation? The Grand Elder also released Tabak. He quickly tried to mediate, but all of us elders get along very well, unlike other sects that fight among themselves all day. Alright, let's get to the main point. Let's talk about this recruitment conference. Tabak was startled. The new student recruitment conference only happens once every 50 years. It's really getting what you want. Could the system have prophetic abilities? The person in charge of the recruitment conference must have powerful strength and also have a lot of time. Finally, they must have excellent speaking skills. Otherwise, the good seedlings will be snatched by other sections. Tabak's mood shifted from complex to gloomy. He didn't meet any of these three conditions. No speaking talent, no strength, and no time. Taitan spoke up again. Then I, your junior sister, will take on this important task. Among those present, only I have the strength to be responsible for our Sword Sect's recruitment conference. It's a good opportunity to expand our Sword Peak's influence. And then the next sect leader position can only be mine. Unexpectedly, the Grand Elder said, I think it's best to let Little Back be in charge. These words made both of them spit blood simultaneously. Speaking of Chu Nuoc Tin, she had already thrown all her master's words to the dogs, directly grabbing the forbidden wine jar on the table and gulping it down. In her tipsy state, Chu Nuoc Tin was very pleased. Why can't I touch this jar? You don't let me touch it. I'll touch it anyway. What can you do? Chu Nuoc Tin's drunken state caught the eye of an old castrated rooster spirit. Although drunk, Chu Nuoc Tin still sensed the approaching danger and immediately screamed for help. Just as she was lying under that castrated rooster, a voice tinged with surprise rang out. Your relationship isn't bad, huh? What are you planning to do to my disciple? The castrated rooster clucked a few explanations that he was just helping Tabak take care of his disciple and had no other intentions. Tabak frowned, then looked at the empty jar in that ill-mannered girl's hand and felt bitter. Damn it, the Good Life water wine that I painstakingly brewed for Sixth Junior Brother, and this girl drank it all. He then glanced at that lecherous one. This guy, after becoming a spirit, mutters nonsense all day. Lucky he still knows how to do housework. Otherwise, I would have stewed him for dinner sooner or later. This poor child, parents both dead, and she almost fell victim to villains. Well, who told you to be lucky enough to have a handsome and elegant master like me? Just as Tabak was changing clothes for the girl, he heard her mumbling in her dream, Master, why haven't you died yet? At that moment, Sixth Junior Brother burst in. Senior Brother, did you drink? The room smells of alcohol, but he didn't expect the scene before his eyes to be so hot. Senior Brother, if you want to do that, you should have said earlier. It's Junior Brother's fault for intruding. I'll come back in a minute. Tabak hurriedly explained. Junior Brother, come back. You misunderstood. But then he thought, what did you just say? You only last a minute. Your whole family only lasts a minute. Sixth Junior Brother, on the verge of tears, said pitifully, Senior Brother. That means the life water wine you promised me is all gone. Tabak completely ignored Sixth Junior Brother's words. That wasn't the point. The point was his image as a righteous gentleman. In the room, Chu Nuoc Tin woke up and was dumbfounded. Is this what Master dressed me in? It looks like pants but also like socks. Feels quite nice to touch. Could this be the new uniform for Sword Sect disciples? No good, I must think of something. Master must have discovered that I secretly drank his wine. A moment later, Chu Nuoc Tin came out. Master, you're back. Come quickly and taste this bowl of meat soup I specially made for you. Tabak thought to himself, this disciple is truly worth taking in, so considerate. But in reality, Chu Nuoc Tin had added quite a bit of science and deep poison to the soup bowl. While the soup was still hot, he could admire his disciple's long legs and enjoy the soup that his disciple had painstakingly cooked. However, when Tabak saw the soup bowl, he discovered, isn't this the laxative for the immortal pig's constipation? Could this girl have mixed up the ingredients? Before Tabak could react, Sixth Junior Brother rushed over and snatched the soup bowl. You've ruined all my life water wine. I'll drink this soup first. Chu Nuoc Tin originally intended to stop him, but it was too late. Sixth junior brother gulped down the soup, his face full of enjoyment. Boom! As soon as he finished drinking, sixth junior brother seemed to have been injected with chicken blood, his whole body full of vitality. Senior brother, you're so kind. You even used that spirit-cultivated phoenix feather chicken to make soup. But before he could finish his sentence, his stomach rumbled like thunder. Senior brother, this soup, the after effect is a bit strong. Soon, the entire sword peak was filled with a strong ammonia smell. At this moment, Tu Nuoc Tin was wearing a maid outfit, holding an air freshener, trying to purify sixth junior brother's toxic gas pocket. Suddenly, she discovered a book under the bed. Isn't this the sex untransmittable secret manual? That demon was indeed afraid I'd find out, so he hid the secret manual here. This way, as long as I cultivate day and night, surpassing him is just a matter of time. But just then, Tabak suddenly snatched the book from her hand. Isn't this my bed leveling draft? Quickly throw it back where it was, otherwise the bed will shake when sleeping. Wanting revenge is a good thing, but how can you rely on this kind of ordinary technique? Tu Nuoc Tin was confused. Master, this is the sword's secret chamber. Tabak pretended to be cold. So what? It's just trash. There are many more powerful techniques in the sword storage pavilion than this. Master, then can you take me to the sword storage pavilion to see if there's any suitable technique for your disciple? Seeing Tu Nuoc Tin's coquettish behavior, Tabak was grinning inside. What's so difficult about that? As your master, I should of course pass on the best technique to you. After saying this, he went alone to the sword storage pavilion. As soon as he pushed the door open, he saw 8th junior sister rushing over, shouting, senior brother's words from 2 years ago, using a blade of grass. One can cut down thousands of stars. I still haven't comprehended it. Now that I've met senior brother, please enlighten me. Tabak was dumbfounded after hearing this. Wasn't that just me talking nonsense back then? You really believed it. The disciples standing behind were also shocked by that sentence. Cutting stars with grass. Fifth elder is so cool. If only I could make up stories as well as big senior sister. But to maintain his image as a great expert, Tabak had to continue pretending. Junior sister, you really don't understand. You've disappointed me greatly. Let me ask you, as a sword cultivator, do you know what the sword Tao is? 8th junior sister believed that the sword Tao was infinite, and the infinite sword could break all laws. One is the sword is one. When person and sword unite, they are invincible. At this moment, Tabak was trying to think of a reasonable explanation in his head. If he continued to make things up, he would be exposed. Got it. A lifetime for humans, a season for grass and trees. All things under heaven, our sword matters. One sword to level all unfair things in the world. One sword without shame to oneself, without shame to the world. That is the sword Tao. Everyone present pondered deeply. What a profound realm of sword Tao. I, Tabak, wish for all swordsmen in this life to be able to break the heavens with one sword. One sword out, all swords in the world come. 8th junior sister was completely conquered by Tabak. I didn't expect senior brother's realm to be so profound. Junior sister was presumptuous. However, Tabak was truly speechless. You're still blushing. The teapot has exploded. Suddenly, he saw 8th junior sister pick up her sword and stand up. Senior brother is right. I also want to be like senior brother. Shouting loudly, sword comes. Unexpectedly, 8th junior sister really entered the mid-stage of Lien Su. The disciples standing behind speculated one after another. 5th elder's one sentence awakened someone from a dream. Such a method couldn't possibly be just Huashan level. On this side, Tabak finished his performance and slipped away. After all, he still had a mission: to choose a good technique for his good disciple. A technique that the protagonist must cultivate. Such big words. But anything placed in the sword storage pavilion must not be ordinary. I've decided on you. But right after, he was scared by a book next to it. Cold junior sister loves me. What nonsense is this? Something seems off. From earlier, I've always had a feeling of being watched. But there's no one else here. Only me and 9th junior sister on guard duty. It can't be this ice mountain cold beauty. Well, let's head back first. After Tabak left, 9th junior sister went to where he had flipped through the books. Cold junior sister loves me. Clearly, 9th junior sister Dan Wu Lan had misunderstood. I didn't expect 5th elder, known as the most infatuated in sword sect, would want to pursue me. Why did the good disciple Tabak, just recruited, look at him with hateful eyes? Just because in her previous life, Tabak not only destroyed Tu Nuoc Tin's clan, but also seized their assets for himself. In the previous life, you knew to use those useless books to deal with me. In this life, I'll directly cultivate the sword classic and crush that great demon. Just as Tu Nuoc Tin was secretly plotting, Tabak returned to the room. Quick, look what your master has prepared for you. When your master acts, nothing is impossible. Tinner has been waiting for master. This is it, the technique that the protagonist must cultivate. Tu Nuoc Tin pointed at the book. Master, it says if one's fate is not good and one's Tao heart is not firm, one will die. She chuckled. Don't you trust your master? How could I harm you? Tu Nuoc Tin smiled like a wilting flower. Harm me? Master sure knows how to joke. She recalled her previous life. Didn't you treat me as a stepping stone for your cultivation path? For your breakthrough, you tortured me day and night, and even extracted my Dao bone. Is this what you call not harming me? Tu Nuoc Tin hugged the sword classic tightly. Tabak was puzzled. I know you're excited to get a new secret manual, but don't crush the sword classic. It'll be uncomfortable if the bed shakes later. Tu Nuoc Tin turned her head, revealing a fierce gaze. Strange, what's with this murderous look? That's right, she must want me to teach her techniques to avenge her clan. Thinking this, Tabak patted his disciple's head, speaking kindly. Are you homesick? Don't worry about cultivating. In the future, Sword Sect will be your home. Tu Nuoc Tin thought to herself, all right, master. I will definitely cultivate diligently, then crush you to dust. This is the supreme secret manual that your master has searched for among countless classics in the Sword Storage Pavilion. You must cherish it.
The first sentence of the secret manual actually said to her, if you don't have confidence that you're heaven's darling, then give up this book. At this moment, she was shocked. Could it be that my reincarnation has been discovered? No,
But I must probe him a bit. Master, this book is so strange. Do you think your disciple is the protagonist, heaven's darling? Tabak smiled and replied, of course, everyone is the protagonist of their own life. After saying this, he placed his hand on Tu Nuoc Tin's forehead. Focus your spirit. I'll transmit my power to you. Feel the flow of energy. As the strong energy flowed in, Tu Nuoc Tin shouted, Master, don't. It hurts. At this moment, 8th junior sister walked in. Seeing the scene before her, she immediately got angry. Senior brother, in broad daylight, you two dare to do this here. Tabak hurriedly explained, immortal lying prone, tying eternal hair. I'm transmitting power to my disciple. What's wrong? But look at your disciple's expression. Does it look like she's receiving power transmission? All right, senior brother, actually I came here to thank you. Don't be modest. If it weren't for those words of yours, I wouldn't know when I could enter the Liansu realm. Tu Nuoc Tin also felt strange at this moment. Someone who can guide on Liansu realm must at least be at the peak of Hidao. Could this great demon be hiding his cultivation? At this time, 8th junior sister suddenly looked at her. Senior brother, what are those pants your disciple is wearing? At this, Tabak suddenly realized, these are made from silk, dyed black. These inner pants are not only light, but also increase attack speed and critical hit by 50%, truly beneficial in both ways. Does senior brother have more? Junior sister wants one too. Tabak then pretended to be generous. I have extra, originally intended to keep this for myself. If junior sister wants it, I'll give it to you. Unexpectedly, 8th junior sister changed right on the spot. Senior brother, these pants are really comfortable. Wearing these, do I not need to wear a skirt anymore? Senior brother, what's wrong with you? Tabak stuffed 2 fingers into his nostrils, stopping the red blood flowing like a spring. He tried to maintain his image and lied that when transmitting power to his disciple earlier, his blood flow was a bit reversed. Then he said to avoid exposure, he should find another outfit more suitable for junior sister. Afterwards, 8th junior sister changed into the Wusong sword machine outfit that Tabak prepared, which was very airy, but she didn't understand what the stick was for. At this time, Tabak asked her, Junior sister, do you know what sword heart is? Sword heart is the eye of the sword. No sword, no pair, single-mindedly moving forward. The sword wielder must have a sharp sword, firm will, dare to face challenges. Seeing 8th junior sister's admiring gaze, Tabak realized he was overacting and quickly changed the subject. You mentioned earlier that big senior sister wanted to give me something, but unexpectedly, after opening the letter, he was speechless. Due to the alliance's tight budget, they needed to solve the financial issue themselves. Tabak immediately set out to find a solution. Although his heart ached at having to take action himself, he still tried to put on the most arrogant appearance possible, wearing the Azure Dragon heavenly helmet, vermilion bird flying cloak, and the luxurious black tortoise armor, along with white tiger wrist guards and Qilin leg guards. Tabak declared boldly, for the sect's great cause, for big senior sister, even death is not regrettable. Just one word, dare. 8th junior sister beside him poured cold water on him. Senior brother, forget it. The bun shop at the foot of the mountain hasn't seen senior sister's money in 20 years. Tabak was stunned. Although he knew big senior sister was stingy, he didn't expect it to be this extreme. Junior sister continued, that bun shop, they use repair and reinforcement methods to offset debts. Now the shop's defense is even stronger than ours when we built the sect.
Senior brother, what's stimulating you? Why are you staring at me and shouting? So white. Tabak hurriedly explained. Senior brother just wants to eat steamed buns. What filling does senior sister usually eat? It must be pork, right? How could the owner give her egg filling? Pork filling, huh? Tabak immediately came up with a money-making idea.
I might as well slaughter all the wild pigs I raise in the back mountain, make them into small buns. Wouldn't that provide funds? I'm so smart. In another development, Tu Nuoc Tin opened the supreme technique manual her master gave her, unexpectedly getting a critical hit right from the start. How could there be a technique that the protagonist must cultivate? Did you really believe it? I made it up. She gritted her teeth and tore the book apart. You great demon, how dare you insult me? Wait until I successfully cultivate the sword classic. I'll definitely chop you into 100 pieces and send you to heaven. At this moment, Tabak entered. Good disciple, stop practicing, go to the back mountain and count how many immortal pigs there are. Nuoktin was a bit surprised. Isn't that where the ancestral graves are? Tabak dares to raise pigs in the ancestral grave area of the elders. Tabak reminded her. That's right, ride the celestial horse to get there quickly. Remember to bring a torch to light the way. Don't miscount. Hearing this, Nuoktin suddenly showed a sinister smile. Master, this is your idea. Don't blame your disciple for being clumsy, sending you to the bottom of the endless abyss, never to be reincarnated. At this time, Tabak was discussing official business with other elders about organizing the recruitment festival. Ninth junior sister saw 8th junior sister's new clothes and couldn't help but feel jealous, thinking her sister had fallen into enemy hands. As for Tabak, he was still talking nonstop to big senior sister, saying something about the recruitment festival being an opportunity to help the sword sect return to its peak. He would take care of the big matters. Even without big sister's budget support, it wouldn't be a problem. Second elder Taitanwai smirked and immediately mocked him. 5th junior brother, with your talents, you must have spent all of Sword Peak's assets, right? You even used divine items like the Phoenix Feather Chicken to make soup. What a waste. Junior brother, listen to sister. You can't handle the recruitment festival. Let sister take care of it. After speaking, Taitanwai turned to say a few words to belittle Tabak and elevate herself. Tabak couldn't stand it and immediately burst into laughter. What are you laughing at, 5th junior brother? I suddenly remembered something funny. That's all. Taitanwai continued to provoke, saying Tabak had the heart but not the money to handle it. Before Tabak could respond, 6th elder suddenly looked out the door and spoke. 5th senior brother, your alchemy skills can be said to be miraculous. Tabak was bewildered, saying he hadn't practiced alchemy. Why was he talking nonsense? Second elder then looked in the direction of old 6th. With such thick black smoke on top of Sword Peak, if not alchemy, what else could it be? Just then, a disciple rushed in to report. The ancestral graves of 5th elder. No, the ancestral graves of Sword Peak are emitting black smoke. Second senior sister frowned, looking at Tabak suspiciously. 5th junior brother, what kind of business are you running? You can't even take good care of your own mountain. A fragrance reached 6th junior brother's nose. This smells really good. It seems to be roasted suckling pig. The drinking food is calling me. Hearing the words roasted suckling pig, Tabak immediately had a bad feeling and hurriedly flew towards the ancestral grave area. My pigs, don't you dare burn all my immortal pigs. At this moment, the ancestral grave area of Sword Peak had been burned to ashes by Tabak's good disciple. Seeing people coming to put out the fire, Nuoktin quickly found a hiding place, waiting to watch the fun. Unexpectedly, he was still a step too late. Tabak cried until his tear ducts were dry. All my beloved wild pigs have been roasted into suckling pigs. 6th junior brother, gnawing on a piece of pork, said, Senior brother, your wild pigs are really delicious. With a bit more seasoning, it would be even more perfect. Big senior sister, seeing the commotion, joined in, laughing. Little back, so your little treasure trove is this abundant. Second senior sister questioned Tabak. You use the ancestral graves to raise pigs. This is a great disrespect to the sect. Tabak could only cover his face and cry. Ancestors, my pig raising plan, my capital. I'm such a fool. If I hadn't given the torch to my disciple, I wouldn't have gone bankrupt. At this moment, 6th junior brother said, Senior brother, next time you want to count pigs, just find me. I guarantee not a single one will be missed. Hearing this, Tabak immediately made an international gesture. You truly are 6th junior brother, not missing one pig or not having any pigs left. The grand elder frowned and thought, that means the pig counter and the arsonist must be related. Little back, where's your disciple? Seeing this, Nuoktin hurriedly panicked. Oh no, the grand elder seems to want to blame me. Meanwhile, Tabak was still hugging his immortal pigs and crying miserably. This is 50,000 tails just flying away. It's all gone. Second senior sister, seeing she couldn't ignore it anymore, spoke up. Don't try to change the subject. Destroying the ancestral graves is a serious crime. You want to cover it up with just a few immortal pigs. No matter how you justify it, you must face the wall and repent for 50 years. Not a single day less. 8th junior sister quickly stood in front of Tabak, defending. Senior brother didn't burn the ancestral graves. How can you blame him? Unexpectedly, 9th junior sister also spoke up. Burning the ancestral graves is a serious crime, but the real culprit is the one who can't be forgiven. Please, senior sister, consider carefully. Don't let an innocent person be wronged. At this moment, second senior sister added fuel to the fire. Even if it was done by that female disciple, he can't escape involvement. At this point, everyone had their own thoughts. Big senior sister thought to herself, you can't admit guilt, or else I won't be able to help you. Ninth junior sister thought, I'll find a way to burn the ancestral graves too, so I can be locked up with him. In the future, we'll name our son to Dai and our daughter to Lon. Second senior sister didn't let go, continuing to question Tabak. Who exactly is that female disciple? Tabak silently rebutted in his heart. What a joke. I've relied on my disciple to pluck feathers all my life. How can I let her face the wall? Moreover, this family-destroying child is a fate child. Whatever she does must have a purpose. Tunuok-tin, peeking from behind a rock, saw Tabak's predicament and felt very pleased. Oh, master, if the chicken soup last time didn't make you crash, don't hope that burning the ancestral graves this time will let you off easily. You've finally lost to me. What no one expected was that in the next moment, Tabak pointed to the sky and swore, "This fire was ordered by me to be set by my disciple." As soon as he finished speaking, everyone was shocked. Second senior sister's eyes darkened. "Tabak, this is what you said yourself." Tabak looked at the system rewards. It turned out Chu Nuoc Tin had successfully cultivated Chi Sense, so he was also rewarded with increased cultivation, breaking through to late-stage Huaxin. Tabak thus arrogantly said, "That's right. 1,000 wrongs, 10,000 wrongs, all are this seat's fault. Stop giving my good disciple a hard time." He took a deep breath, slowly saying, "But aren't you all curious why I burned the ancestral graves?" Second senior sister scoffed coldly. "Don't try to play tricks. No one can save you now." Tabak ignored her, focusing on channeling spiritual energy into the ancestral graves. Just then, sixth junior brother suddenly discovered that the ancestral graves seemed about to explode. The next second, the ancestral graves exploded. Then, everyone's magical treasures floated in midair. Sixth junior brother wailed miserably, "My pork leg. You're not an arrow. Why are you flying?" Tu Nuoc Tin, hiding behind a rock, looked puzzled. What's going on? Why did the explosion of the ancestral graves cause the elders' magical treasures to resonate? Tabak chanted a spell, performing the art of metal separation and point sealing. After a thunderous explosion, everyone looked at Tabak in astonishment. He slowly said, "My efforts in practicing the detection technique weren't in vain. I burned the ancestral graves actually for the Qing Ping sword. I wonder if this reason is sufficient." In fact, Tabak's heart was racing. Fortunately, the system was quite considerate this time. Otherwise, he would really have to enjoy his old age. The junior sisters all looked at Tabak with admiring eyes. So senior brother burned the ancestral graves for the Qing Ping sword. That's so cool. Tabak arrogantly looked at second senior sister. "I, too, have committed the crime of burning the ancestral graves. May I ask how many years second senior sister intends to punish me?" Big senior sister quickly came to Tabak's rescue. To be able to obtain the Qing Ping sword, even destroying the entire sword peak would be worth it. As long as we have the Qing Ping sword, our sword sect can return to its peak era. Just then, Tabak's good disciple also appeared, crying and saying, "My clothes were burned, so I didn't dare to come out." Tabak immediately took off his cloak and draped it over Chu Nuoc Tin, gently. "No need for many words. Whatever you say, your master believes. Who told you to be my good disciple?" Chu Nuoc Tin looked at him with deep eyes, thinking to herself, "Why has master become so gentle in this life?" "Wait, I don't believe you. You must be pretending. I won't be fooled again." However, second senior sister still wouldn't let it go, questioning, although finding the Qing Ping sword is a great merit. "If you knew early on that the sword sex treasure was here, why didn't you inform me beforehand?" At this moment, big senior sister suddenly spoke up. "That's right. That old man searched for hundreds of years without finding it. How could it appear with just one fire?" Tabak immediately activated his bullshit mode. "100 years ago, I discovered that my cultivation had no affinity with spiritual energy. Despite this, I didn't give up, still cultivating day and night. 100 years east of the river. 100 years west of the river. Don't underestimate a poor youth." This phrase kept echoing in my ears. Eighth junior sister innocently asked, "What does this have to do with finding the Qing Ping sword? Moreover, how did you know to use fire to burn?" "This is a secret that senior brother doesn't want to mention. One can only experience it personally. Just like this Qing Ping sword. Let's leave it here without pulling it out. Isn't that great?" Big senior sister immediately pushed him aside, intending to pull the Qing Ping sword out of the ancestral grave. However, no matter how much strength she used, she couldn't move this sword. Meanwhile, sixth junior brother lying on one side whispered to himself, "If the ancestral graves of Sword Peak can explode into a sword, then other mountains must be able to as well. I'm such a genius." At this point, big senior sister had given up. After all, this was the sword's sex treasure. Perhaps only the old master could pull it out. Second senior sister looked at the Qing Ping sword, thinking to herself, "If this precious sword could be planted on Drunk Sword Peak, that would be great. 3,000 disciples of Drunk Sword Peak worshipping ancestors. Qing Ping sword standing before the tombstone. How wonderful." But just then, a disciple from Drunk Sword Peak rushed over to report, "Sixth elder, I don't know what evil has possessed him. He's gone to burn the ancestral graves of Drunk Sword Peak." Hearing this, second senior sister immediately flew towards Drunk Sword Peak. "Sixth junior brother, you little bastard. Peak. Sixth junior brother, you little bastard. Are you tired of living? You dare to touch it, just try. Stop right now." Sixth junior brother, with an intoxicated expression, said, "Senior sister, considering the feng shui in the sword sect, apart from Sword Peak, only the ancestral graves of Drunk Sword Peak have better feng shui. Sword Peak has the Qing Ping sword, so why can't Drunk Sword Peak have a supreme treasure?" Hearing this, second senior sister felt it made sense. Moreover, he had already set fire to the ancestral graves. What if there really was a treasure underneath? Wouldn't it be a waste to miss it? At this moment, big senior sister also arrived, angrily saying, "Junwuya, you're really bold, daring to burn the ancestral graves." However, second senior sister suddenly blocked sixth junior brother, saying it was all her order, and there must be a treasure underneath. With second senior sister's confirmation, sixth junior brother didn't hesitate, immediately using his ultimate move, fireball technique. As he cast it, he shouted, "Come out, precious sword." But a second later, everyone was dumbfounded. Where's the treasure? Not even a hair was found. Big senior sister angrily said, Jun Wuya, Taitan Wai, you two fools, go face the wall and repent for me. Hang there for 50 years. The scene changes. Now Tabak is lying in a pavilion, scolding Chu Nuok Tin. It's only been 2.5 days, and you've burned the ancestral graves. Cultivate for another 2.5 years. Do you want to kill your master too? Burning ancestral graves? Killing the master. Chu Nuok Tin was startled, thinking to herself, could Tabak be testing me? Seeing him getting closer, she closed her eyes. Finally learned to be afraid, have you? But while Chu Nuok Tin was lost in thought, a finger suddenly touched her lips. My foolish disciple, sit still, stretch out your legs. The clothes your master just made for you are all torn. What a pity. Luckily, your master made many. I'll change them for you later. Let me treat your wounds first. At this moment, Chu Nuok Tin was extremely conflicted. Have you forgotten the previous life? He was the one who unhesitatingly sentenced me to death. How hateful. Seeing Chu Nuok Tin not saying anything for a while, Tabak patted her head. Such a foolish child. The immortal world is full of struggles. The weak are nothing. This matter can't be overlooked like this. When there's a chance in the future, your master will teach you. It's getting dark. You stay in the grass hall to recover. Your master will go clean the pigsty with she and the others. Tabak, no matter how well you treat me, don't hope to shake my Tao heart. In this life, I will definitely send you to heaven. That night, 8th junior sister wore a tight black outfit to challenge Tabak. But before she finished speaking, she coquettishly said, Senior brother, you were so imposing when giving orders to everyone during the day. I hope you can teach me a bit. Tabak pretended to say, seems like something's missing. If junior sister likes, I'll perform it again. After saying this, he casually drew the precious sword beside him. Watch this move. So he demonstrated the Taiji sword he had practiced for 2.5 years to 8th junior sister. Afterwards, Tabak asked his junior sister, have you remembered senior brother's technique? Tabak thought, although junior sister was a bit silly, she had an excellent memory for techniques. 8th junior sister stammered, Senior brother, I've forgotten all of your sword techniques just now. Junior sister is being modest. No need to say, senior brother understands. It seems you've grasped the essence of this sword technique. Keep practicing hard, you can become strong too. Although 8th junior sister didn't understand Taiji sword, she was still very surprised. Why could senior brother draw the Qing Ping sword? During the day, you didn't want others to see it. Tabak continued to pretend, I just casually drew a sword. But a second later, he finally reacted, what? Did I draw the Qing Ping sword? Heavens, I missed such a good opportunity to show off. Tabak intended to demonstrate again for his junior sister how he drew the Qing Ping sword. But at this moment, junior sister discovered that the Qing Ping sword seemed not to move at all. Tabak awkwardly said to his junior sister, there's something you don't know. Such a divine item must have gained sentience. Let senior brother communicate with it a bit. A moment later, I told junior sister, this Qing Ping sword has its own thoughts. It's asleep now. But 8th junior sister still had some doubts. Can swords sleep too? He then said to her, who else is like us? Not sleeping at midnight, but getting up to practice swords. Just then, someone suddenly flew towards them. Judging by the outfit, it seemed to be 9th junior sister. 8th junior sister was about to greet her, when Tabak quickly stopped her, telling her to hide in the pigsty first. Senior brother, it's just calling you, what's there to hide about cultivation? That's true, but if she discovers a man and a woman here at midnight, wouldn't I be skinned alive? Tabak then said, now is the most important time for cultivating the sword heart. I don't like being disturbed. You should suppress your spiritual energy. Don't let her discover you. Then, 8th junior sister followed his words and hid in the hay pile. At this moment, 9th junior sister flew towards Tabak, drooling. Today your sword peak was burned so badly, I happened to pass by. Helping you is the right thing to do. What if senior brother is alone? We, a man and a woman in a pigsty together. How exciting. But as soon as she flew closer, she smelled a woman's fragrance. Moreover, this scent was very similar to her sister's. Just then, Tabak appeared before 9th junior sister with an affectionate expression. Seeing him, 9th junior sister's heart suddenly felt like deer running wild. 5th senior brother is indeed a true man, taking the blame for his disciple during the day and enduring loneliness alone at night. I didn't expect senior brother to be so lonely as to recite poetry facing a pigsty. Tabak looked at 9th junior sister and asked, it's midnight. Why are you at sword peak? 9th junior sister coldly replied, just moon gazing. What? Can't I come to senior brother's sword peak? Doesn't Tabak know she has improper intentions towards him? Usually she looks down on him, but now she sneaks here at night. Isn't it to see the Qing Ping sword? I'm a considerate person. How can I quibble over such things? My sword peak. You can come anytime you want. But 9th junior sister was now very uncomfortable. Senior brother must have been with another woman just now. Damn it, I was all prepared, yet you want to play with another woman. Tabak hurriedly shouted, saying to 9th junior sister, this is a kind of footwork that senior brother just comprehended, needing to move feet continuously to pass the crucial moment. Senior brother is so strange, who practices with legs spread like that. Moreover, why is there a ruler under your feet? At this moment, 9th junior sister also sensed the familiar aura on the ruler. Just as she was about to run over, Tabak quickly stepped forward, grabbed the ruler, and scratched. 9th junior sister, you go back first. Senior brother is a bit tired too, preparing to rest now. pile. Ninth junior sister calmly said, "Senior brother, just be natural. The moon is so beautiful today. I'll stay here to watch it. If tired, I'll lie on this hay pile to rest for a while." Tabak hurriedly stopped ninth junior sister. "How can junior sister sleep on this hay pile? Senior brother will sleep here. You can go to the grass hall on the mountaintop to rest. Isn't watching the moon there even more wonderful?" Seeing senior brother's tense expression, plus the ring I just discovered, I must sleep on this hay pile. After saying this, ninth junior sister rushed towards the hay pile. Seeing this, Tabak flew over and lay down on the hay pile first. "Senior brother, did you hear something?" "Nothing. Perhaps I was too comfortable," and let out a small moan. "Senior brother, why are you sweating so much? Why don't you go somewhere comfortable to rest early?" At this moment, Tabak was extremely embarrassed. It seemed she had discovered something. If she found out about this, he would be finished. It seemed he couldn't sit still and wait for death. He heard that this type of cold beauty hates touching smelly men the most. Might as well do the opposite. Thinking this, Tabak revealed a lecherous expression. "Junior sister is right. If that's the case, senior brother must go cultivate." Ninth junior sister blushed. "Senior brother, your acting is terrible. I'm waiting for you to pounce." Just then, Tabak pretended to lose balance and was about to fall when ninth junior sister slipped and rushed to catch him. "Oh, what's this? What's with her happy expression? I finally get to lie snugly in senior brother's arms. This feeling is wonderful." But at this moment, big senior sister also flew towards them. Tabak was truly speechless. "It's late. Why won't anyone rest? Why are they all coming to find me? Now we have enough people to play mahjong. Why is big senior sister coming here too? Could she also be interested in senior brother? If she hadn't come, senior brother might have been taken down by me already. Well, heads may fall, blood may flow, but the cold image cannot be lost. Better hide first." So ninth junior sister took advantage of Tabak's inattention and crawled into the hay pile. At this moment, Tabak felt even more helpless. What on earth have I done wrong to encounter these two sisters? Ninth junior sister, hiding in the hay pile, was furious. "I can't believe the one dating fifth senior brother is my sister. You quickly say, why are you coming here so late? What are you two doing behind my back? Confess quickly." But just then, upon hearing big senior sister's sweet voice, the two sisters immediately stuck together, with only one thought in mind: we must not let big senior sister discover us. Indeed, being handsome is also a kind of trouble. At this moment, big senior sister arrived and immediately threw herself into Tabak's arms coquettishly. Tabak was also very troubled. "Senior sister, please be mindful. This isn't appropriate." "Little back, what's wrong? Don't you want to look at sister anymore?" But just then, big senior sister also discovered two footprints on the ground, one large and one small. "Little back, you're so good." "No, wait, the Qing Ping sword has been drawn. Who is this person?" If it were little back, he would have drawn it and shown off during the day. Now being so modest doesn't fit his style. So big senior sister decided to use a provoking strategy to ask if Tabak had drawn the Qing Ping sword. The person who can draw this sword must either have formidable strength or be recognized by the Qing Ping sword. But Tabak clearly didn't agree with this statement, because one needs to reach the realm of no self.